Now this, game of the year right here. Now before I get yelled at, I know, I'm like 11 months late to making this kind of video. But actually this worked out well because Sonic Frontiers released last year in November, and now it's October as I'm recording this. And we've actually received all content for Sonic Frontiers after all this time. So now I'm deciding to make this video and talk about the game. This will be a long video and my highest quality, so get comfy, get a snack, and enjoy because I'm about to do a deep dive into Sonic Frontiers. To understand what this game meant for the Sonic franchise, we have to go back to November 2017. Talk about a fucking time jump, but we had just gotten Sonic Forces, which, be honest, yeah, wasn't the greatest, which left everyone feeling disappointed with how things got left off for Sonic. The best thing we had at the time was Sonic Mania, but other than that, the Sonic drought was real. All we got later on throughout that time between Sonic Forces and Sonic Frontiers was a racing game in 2019 and the Sonic movies along with Colors Ultimate. For 5 years. Finally got a teaser for the new upcoming Sonic game, Sonic Frontiers. I remember this time, and everyone was hyped. What does this symbol mean? Who is that voice? The hyperfixation was real for a lot of people. And well, it went quiet again. See, I remember this time. I wasn't really into Sonic at this time, but when I saw this, I was hooked. I was really curious about what this meant and where it was going to lead the Sonic franchise. Of course, there were a lot of leaks at this time suggesting that it was an open world Sonic game, which sounds amazing. Imagine the possibilities for adventure and fun gameplay. We were all hyped, and we had to wait until June 1st to see some gameplay, and well, it looked like this. What am I looking at here? So it looked rancid, horrible even. For being a few months away, safe to say, Sonic fans were worried about this game. But some brave soldiers, aka rational people, brought to knowledge that peak fiction, Sonic Unleashed, also looked like unfinished dog shit 5 months away from launch. And how it was sorta true, it managed to keep Sonic fans delusional enough to still love this game and hold out hope. Of course, the gameplay got better and we saw real humans playing this time, instead of whoever at Sega was like, walk. And not gonna lie, it looked pretty good. And a few months later, we got proper trailers for the game showing combat, gameplay, CGI, story. This was it. We got the W Sonic game. We got footage of the new islands, Super Sonic, and so much more. A prologue animation that I wish could be a real Sonic anime, like god damn. And the day came and we got Sonic Frontiers. Now, I know I spent a lot of time talking up to just the build up of this game in a video just about this game, but trust me, it's important to know I wouldn't include it for no reason since this is important information. Anyway, let's get on to the main course, the gameplay. Sonic Frontiers is what I would describe to be a buggy, messy, fun game. The gameplay here is a lot of things. Unpolished at times, yes, but does that mean it isn't fun? Fuck no. This shit is actually peak with its gameplay. It has amazing freedom of movement compared to previous titles, and is the perfect step in the right direction to getting perfect physics for Sonic games back. In the next game, if they could work on this and make it better, shit, this is about to be the best Sonic game ever, like control wise. And I haven't even mentioned the combat. Now this combat is very flashy, if you will. Lots of cool combos, moves, and junk to really give the player that fun feel with cool camera angles and animations. Now to most people, they saw it as a flaw that the combat wasn't more in depth, but to me, this works perfectly for Sonic. Imagine it, a Sonic game with flashy combo moves, some dope art style, and style choices to spice up the game. That's the fattest chef's kiss I could have ever heard of. Like Persona 5 or Breath of the Wild style shit. That extra spice will go a long way to making these games just that much better. Sonic games don't need to have in-depth combat systems. They focus on feeling fast, cool, and flashy. That's a good thing. And just because it does that doesn't mean there is an opportunity to have fun and be more advanced with it. Once you know how to use it, it's so much fun. These islands are mainly built around little bits of parkour and platforming scattered around for you to use, floating rails, platforms, all that shit. Stuff that makes the game fun to play. Now, yes, alright, one critique I do have with it is the fact that, like, it's kind of like linear paths, like that you see in the older Sonic levels, scattered around an open world, which, to me, is kind of a fucking shoot yourself in the foot moment, because then you're like, well, shit, I've just fucking made this open world game and then put fucking linear pathways in it, making it a linear game with just more exploration. Like, kind of sucks. But anyway, besides that, the platforming is very good. Now the difficulty of it all is very easy, I'd say. But in update 2 and 3, holy shit, it's so good. The difficulty of some of the platforming is nuts, but I'll cover that more later on. Like, just look at this shit, it's so fun. Anyway, most of the islands consist of guardians of the island who fight to get gears to unlock cyberspace portals, and they give you keys which you can use to unlock chaos emeralds. Confusing? A little bit, but you can also earn these keys around the island through pigs fishing or paying for it. And once you get 6 chaos emeralds, the last one is with the Titan, and you have to climb or chase after it to get the last chaos emerald and transform into Supersonic and do these amazing Supersonic boss battles. They are unrivaled and amazing, and they really show the true extent of their design, as it is the combat you have learnt through the game along the quick time events you literally learned from Biggs fishing, transformed into a giant Titan fight in a giant arena. This giant motherfucker is just the highlight of the game and showcase how incredible they are. Anyway, I'll stop yapping about the gameplay and give you what you came here for, the story. The story starts off with Eggman discovering some ancient technology and... Whoa. This isn't the start. Ugh, no. This is the start. Okay, just listen. I'll make it quick, I promise. Alright, so let's start with the comic. Pretty much it just shows Eggman on the Starfall Islands, wondering about the staff, about it before trying to take it over for good, blah blah blah. And Sonic and Tails are making a move to search the islands for the Chaos Emeralds. But, loyally, you may be wondering, where is the red one? Ah, you poor sweet thing. Here, let me show you. This peak as fuck animation that is beautifully crafted by the gods themselves. Anyway, we see Knuckles on Angel Island protecting the Master Emeralds as he takes a little exploring in Sky Sanctuary to search the area for stuff. He finds a child wanting a mask thing, fucking shit, and Knuckles helps a little cute fella get his weird mask. Fucking Zelda reference there. Then he finds a structure that looks like a cyberspace portal and puts a portal gear into it and gets transported to the Starfall Islands. He gets ambushed but fights all the enemies off like a champ until Sage appears and locks bro in a red cage, and he's stuck waiting for Sonic or someone to save him. Damsel in distress. Alright, now we can start the actual story of the game. So it starts off with Eggman fucking with cyberspace. He gets his dumb ass sucked into a portal, and that cuts to Sonic, Tails, and Amy coming across the Starfall Islands on the tornado. But they get sucked into a portal and go, well, fuck. Oh my god, it's fucking Green Hill again! Anyway, Sonic runs through cyberspace, which uses his memories to craft a digital plane for him to run through, making some levels. He escapes and finds himself on the islands, talking to a random ominous voice in the sky, because that always goes perfectly well. Anyway, they tell Sonic to tear down the walls between dimensions and destroy the Titans to free his friends. Yeah, this voice is evil written all over it, but Sonic, being the dense hedgehog he is, just goes... sure, why not? As Sonic fights 2 Guardians and discovers his new powers such as Psyloop and punching. He goes through cyberspace again and gets some more Chaos Emerald keys and gets his first Chaos Emerald. And then the game starts. Whoa. Now I won't bore you with every detail of this game since I don't want this video to last forever. You know, this video is already long enough. So I'll rapid fire through here and try and get through the story as fast as possible because I love you guys and I want to not waste your time. Sonic then finds Amy locked in a weird red bubble type thing that we also saw Knuckles in the prologue animation. Anyway, he gets some shit to free her but gets corrupted somehow, like through cyber energy. It's weird. Amy is worried and in some weird digitized state where she's all like glitchy and shit and has like shitty Wi-Fi connection. Sonic and Amy team up to find Tails and get the Chaos Emeralds. Eventually, Sonic meets... Is that an Evangelion reference? Anyway, he meets the first Titan, Giganto, and Sage, Eggman's AI daughter who doesn't like Sonic very much. Sonic tries to beat up big old robot fella and, well, gets his ass handed to him on a silver platter. Anyway, Sonic go do shit on island, and long story short, the creatures on the island, the Coco, are actually the dead ancients and new forms from years ago who originally lived on these islands, who all randomly got killed for some reason. I don't know. That's strange. Anyway, let's go kill Eva 1. I mean Giganto. go supersonic and pull a Methyles on this man. Amy is still trapped and Sonic heads to the next island, Sand. Bro gets yeeted and the Chaos Emeralds scatter, making Sonic's job a lot harder now. He has to go get the Chaos Emeralds fucking again because game design. Anyway, he finds Knuckles on this island because it's Sand Island, refer back to fucking, like, I don't know, like a few minutes ago when I was talking about it, whatever. He takes on more corruption and does more shit and also flirts with him because he's his boyfriend. What am I saying? And also real quick, before I get into it, we got really great dialogue and character interaction between Sonic and his friends throughout this game. Really incredible writing, and I really appreciate more depth in these characters. Anyway, Knuckles, like Amy, felt a connection to the Coco on a personal level. Amy saw Coco fall in love, reflecting herself wanting to be with someone who she loves, aka maybe Sonic. Too bad he's gay. Knuckles saw how they protected their land, but it failed in the end, and he reflects that maybe he should be more like Sonic and be more free and enjoy his life and, you know, have freedom. While we also see Sage learning more about Sonic, starting to get attached, but mention a looming threat that Sonic will not last to escape these islands. Ominous, scary, also tension, so it's good writing. Anyway, Sonic later finds, is that another Evangelion reference? He finds Wyvern and gets chased a bit by this big weird fucking worm bitch. And instead of getting his ass kicked, he escapes this time, but it doesn't matter because he kicks his ass to Supersonic and sends Bro into a mountain. Anyway, after that ordeal, Knuckles sets to find Tails and defeat the last Titan as Sonic dips and goes to the next island, Volcano. Yeah, he gets yeeted at the sky once again by another explosion or some shit, gun, whatever, and finds Tails trapped in Red Thingy. Sonic frees little dude, except now his cyber corruption is real bad. Tails is worried about Sonic, but he reassures Tails he's alright as he silently takes on the pain as he tasks Tails with go finding information to help him get the Chaos Emeralds. When Tails leaves, he starts to cough and struggle while Sage watches silently. It's weird seeing Sonic so weak here, barely able to stand already is worrisome, and reassures the player that Sonic is on borrowed time here. You know, in other games where he, you know, is corrupted or, like, I don't know, like, cursed or whatever. Like, for example, the only other time we see something exactly like this is kind of in the IDW comics with the Metal Virus. It's interesting to see how they're written, because normally it's like Hedgehog, fucking Flame Thing from Secret Rings, and shit like that. Like, it's not really a hindrance on himself, so it's cool to see it actually written here. I really appreciate it. Anyway, Tails interacts with the Coco and finds the Coco wants to impress his best friend with his skill, just like how Tails wants to prove himself to Sonic that he is more than a sidekick and wants to be his own person, his own hero. And later we see Sonic accept his wishes to grow up and go his own way, which is really wholesome because they just have such a good brother dynamic, and I just love to see it. Anyway, Sonic finds himself, is that an Evangelion? We have our first look at the Titan of this island and Knight, or, as I like to call him, and also someone else in the community, Office Chair. We have a look at our first Titan of this island, the Chair, or should I say Knight, his actual name, but we like to call him the Chair around here, who chases us along Squid, one of the Guardians, while we run for our lives, and eventually he game ends Squid. Respect to our fallen brother, he will be missed. Anyway, we see more interactions with Sonic and Tails, and also with Sage, where Sage questions Sonic as to why he does this and tries to understand him more, as Sonic just wants to save his friends, and that's it. Speaking of Sage, Eggman has been trapped in cyberspace, just chilling, eating his packed lunch. Baby carrots. Anyway, Sage also loves Eggman like a father, and she learns from Sonic to help their family no matter what, and eventually sees Sonic as not an enemy, but also good, and feels bad that his corruption will be the end of him, and how it is not fair. Meanwhile, Sonic and Tails being the best brothers in the entire fucking world, and being dope as shit, and I love them so much. Anyway, Sonic goes to fight Sonic goes to fight Knight, and slices Bro in half, Knight of the Wind style, let's get it. And heads to the next island, where he has to take out the towers to finally free his friends. And as he destroys the towers, he learns more about the Ancients and how they had the Chaos Emeralds and brought them to Sonic's planet, as they had to escape their own planet due to a giant threat. And how they created cyberspace to seal their memories and consciousnesses away. And how their last stand against whatever they were battling ended with them using the same Titans we fight to seal them away in this being in the Titan in cyberspace. As Sonic's cyber corruption gets worse and worse, he eventually finally is defeated. It's over. The voice from the sky telling Sonic what to do is what originally wiped out the ancients and plans to destroy Sonic's planet. Except Sonic is kinda dead, but his friends are free along with Eggman from cyberspace. Sonic's friends bring back Sonic and sacrifice their physical forms, and Sonic is back? I'm gonna be honest, this sucks and is my main drawback of the story, man. It really sucks that all this build up just to have it all reverted. Sonic's friends are back to being trapped and Sonic is cured. It seems like a cop-out, but whatever. Sonic needs to collect the Chaos Emeralds on the last island to defeat whatever this thing is. So the final island, now here is where things get complicated. There are two endings for Sonic Frontiers. I will be briefly covering the first, but the second ending is the most interesting personally. It was the new update, ending for update 3, and yeah, we'll cover that in a second though. Right now, we need to cover the original ending. And Sonic gets the Chaos Emeralds and faces off with the last Titan Supreme. Eventually defeats it, but the being sealed inside it escapes to space where Sonic has to defeat it with Sage piloting the Titan. And wait a second, is this an Evangelion reference? They head off into space to face off with a purple moon, I guess? And what the fuck is this? Just Space Invaders? And what is bro yapping about? Shut up. So yeah, this is not a good final boss. You defeat it with a QTE and it's all over. Sage sacrifices themselves and the game ends with Sonic going back home and Eggman sad over the loss of his daughter. Shit ending, I know. But it's not over. There is a new ending that was released September 28th, 2023, almost a year after the game's release, where they changed everything. The new story starts on Uranus Island, where we had just seen the entire event of Sonic Frontiers up to Rhea Island, but now we are on the 5th island. And well, you jump through a ring to get here, which is a little bit weird, but we'll roll with it. Anyway, we see Sage, Eggman, and Sonic all together. Sage suggests to Sonic that they bring back his friends and try and turn his cyber corruption to power and hold it off for a bit, but he will still stay cyber corrupted while they collect the Chaos Emeralds. So we got a big team split off. We got Sonic's friends getting the Chaos Emeralds in their cyber forms. Then we got Sonic who's trying to climb the 5 towers to turn his cyber corruption into power. As Sonic climbs the towers, we see all the pilots of all the Titans in their forms. We have to do their trials and stuff. We have to do these little boss, or not boss, but enemy arena kind of things. Some are hard, some are not, blah 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 blah, whatever. Eventually you get through it all, and you meet the 4th one. He's like blah 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 blah, fucking I'm a memory, and oh, I died, oh, cry, no one cares. Anyway, pretty much, most of this stuff is just pretty regular. You eventually meet with the King Coco, and he's the one who actually turns your cyber corruption into power by refighting the Titans that you have fought on the islands previously, to then get that new power to get ready and fight the Titan. Meanwhile, Sonic's friends have gathered the Chaos Emeralds by doing puzzles and stuff, and eventually they get cyber corrupted themselves and feel what it's like to be like Sonic, which, is pretty cool to see. Anyway, final boss time, here we go. We see that Sonic finds his friends with the Chaos Emeralds along with Eggman, who has 1 Chaos Emerald. What a nerd, I know. Anyway, he turns super, goes to fight this thing, and it's basically the normal boss fight Supreme again, except after he's defeated, we see the end, Purple Moon, come down and plug in their Ethernet cable and take control of Supreme's ass. Gives him extra limbs, and is ready for a fight, and he looks like a weird ass pitbull. Sonic gets beat around a bit, but then we see this. Holy shit, now this is peak gaming. This boss fight is amazing and shows that this ending completed Sonic Frontiers. Anyway, after kicking his ass a bit, he shoots out a gun that Eggman picks up with his weird little cable, I don't know, while Sonic gives this motherfucker a beatdown. Anyway, ending this fight off with Eggman launching Sonic into Supreme and the end, as Sonic claims he won't hold back and transforms even further into an awesome mix of Fleetway, Dark, and cyber-corrupted Super Sonic and launches into the end once and for all, defeating the end. As Super Sonic floats through space victorious, he then falls down on his face and the story ends happily as they all go home and finish their adventure on the Starfall Islands. Man, this video is long, and I'm still not done. Let's take a break and just talk about the Sonic music. This OST in total after Update 3 has 195 songs. So give or take 200 songs. God damn! And a lot of them are really good. I'll be talking about almost all the types of music and how it is used in this game, so let's start things off with the island themes. These themes really have that amazing, melancholic feel to the game, giving the sense of absence almost. On Kronos, it really feels like a mysterious lost land that we know nothing about. Kronos Island's movements almost progress as you hear them in the game. The first one sounding so like, it's just so hard to explain, so let me give you a quick listen. Like, it sort of has that feeling of like nothing. It's sort of just like very subtle with its song. It's like how Breath of the Wild did its music with no music. It's kind of like that. It kind of has like the absence of music, but it just is so powerful at the same time. But slowly, the more you progress, the more the movements start to become clear, like a form of fog has cleared and we are getting the full picture slowly of this land. And by the time we get to the fifth movement, it is all becoming clear and developed as a song now that actually sounds really good. And also story symbolic, for we have a clear mission by this point in the story. There's still mystery to these islands, but it's clear what the player must do. And on the final song, we have done so much progressing, and it is right before we fight Giganto. Is the music that you hear in the background right here, and it sounds amazing. Take a quick listen. Like, oh my god, these island themes are so good. It's so hard to explain what makes them so good. They just are amazing, you know? They just have that feeling of melancholic sadness to them. It's weird. It's like, I don't know, it's very cool to hear, but also it's very weird at the same time. Anyway, the next islands also do this using their own unique instruments. Like on Ares Island, it uses more drums and stuff, and has that more kind of theme to it. And then on Chaos Island, having a more heavy tone to its music. They start its movement as, you know, foggy, but then it develops with Sonic on his adventure, and they're all unique in their own special way. They all feel special, which is very cool. And by the time we get to the fourth island, Rhea Island, and they take down the towers, the most beautiful representation of melancholy and determination ever heard in this soundtrack is right here. It sounds incredible. Please take a listen. And then, by the time we get to Rainos Island in the original ending of Sonic Frontiers, there aren't any movements, it's just one track that plays. And I believe it represents the fact that everything is clear now, everything is known, there is no need for progression, you are at the final stages of this game. It is time to beat the game. That's what it represents, as well as it being amazing as well. It's the end of an adventure, has the most developed theme out of them all and shows just completion in general. Sonic has learned everything about these Starfall Islands and intends to protect them with his life, just how the ancients did thousands of years ago. Anyway, in the new ending, all the characters you play as have movements in the form of their own songs. Amy's movement has a very Kronos Island feeling song, but mixed with trap music. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think the trap music has anything to do with it. It's kind of just there because, I don't know, Watani decided to cook. I'm not a fan of it, but I'm sure there's lots of people who like it. The song's called Maybe If, and I think each of these movements represent how the character is feeling in these moments getting the Chaos Emeralds. Knuckles' theme, which is my favorite, out of the 3. Blood Flow has some nice bass, and again, I think these themes represent how the characters feel in the moment, gathering the emeralds perfectly. Then we get to Tails' theme, Another Passage, is also very good. Not too much in my opinion to write home about. They all have an undertone of determination which shows how Sonic's friends want to help Sonic, and also find themselves at the same time. And even Sonic has a movement when he climbs the towers called Second Wind, which goes pretty hard. Here, take a listen to this one. To me, this represents Sonic's determination to change and help these Starfall Islands, as in the ending he is finding new power to help the people of the island. And then finally, the Arenos Island remix. I don't recall hearing in game, but it's in the soundtrack on Spotify, but it's just as nice sounding remix of the original song, so yeah, nothing too much to write home about, but it sounds pretty good. Alrighty, that was a lot, but I'll brief over the Guardians music by just telling you some of my favorites in no particular order really. First is Asura's theme. This shit just sounds like a dire battle and it's awesome. God, it's so fucking cool. I also love Strider's theme, as it also sounds just fucking awesome. Yeah, like man, Otani cooked. It's hard to give it a feel rather than just awesome boss music. Finally, my all-time favorite, Ghost's theme. This boss is the best in all of Sonic Frontiers, fight me. At least out of the Guardians, it's the best one. It is designed well and has a banger that suits it. Man, Otani needs to just miss once, like oh my lord. Anyway, let's cover the cyberspace songs just as a whole. Now this might be the weakest part of the soundtrack because I just don't like some of these. The EDM feel is just not for me personally, but if you're a fan of EDM, this is the soundtrack for you because I've heard from my friends who like EDM that they're pretty good. Like, I understand the story implications of why it's EDM because you're in a cybernetic world, blah blah blah, but I don't know. I just think it's kind of forgetful and it kind of mashes them together and sounds like 2007 YouTube intros just came back. But I won't go too in depth about all the songs. I do like some, but again, they're the weakest part of the soundtrack for me. I will link a playlist with all the songs on YouTube for you guys to listen to since there are some bangers in here. I might even make some tweets about some of my favorites, but yeah. Anyway, now let's cover the main attraction of this OST, and that is the main themes themselves. There are 10 main themes, so let's cover them all. Now, just one I think is appropriate to cover is the original version of I'm Here. It's pretty solid for a main theme. Not the best, but also not the worst in the entire OST. Lyrics don't work that well, I'll be completely honest, as I think it would work better as an instrumental, but hey, like a solid 7 out of 10. Now, I'm going to cover these as we hear them in the game, so the next main theme is Undefeatable, which is performed by Kellen Quinn. They perform all of the Titan boss fight themes, and like one other song, and damn, they killed it with their performance. They have easily cemented this song as one of the best Sonic songs of all time. All the Titan fights blow me away because of how good the music is. I never thought I would hear metal in a Sonic game, but it works. And I'd love to see this trend continue. It's like a 9.5 out of 10. Next song is Break Through It All, which is a great song again, but not as strong as Undefeatable, but it's still a banger, so it gets an 8 out of 10. Now, this next song is the first 10 out of 10 Sonic song on this list of main themes, as it's a banger. Find Your Flame with Kellen Quinn and Tyler Smith, who did Infinite's theme, which sucked a bit of ass, I'm not gonna lie. So the fact they got this banger redemption here is amazing. The best Titan theme of them all. Next we hear I'm Here, in Supreme of course, and in the original ending where you play the dogshit Space Invaders minigame for a final boss, this song I'm With You plays, which I guess is our main theme, and it's a decent song. It's pretty mediocre in my own opinion. Would have hit harder if the final boss was an arse, but whatever, it's like a 5 out of 10. But in the other ending, we got two versions of I'm Here, the main theme, for the final boss battle. The first is the orchestral version, which hits so hard, like holy shit, 9 out of 10. It is giving me mad 06 vibes, and like Unleashed, I love it. I want this trend to continue forever. But that's not it. I'm Here Revisited is performed by Kellen Quinn, and it is the best version of I'm Here. it changed my entire opinion on the song. Before this update, I was like, it's an alright main theme, but now, after this, it's like top tier. 10 out of 10, since it is used perfectly for this final boss, paired with Super Duper Sonic, that's what I'm calling it by the way, and it is an amazing performance. Now, there is real quick the I'm With You vocal version that plays at the credits, I believe, of the new update. It's actually a pretty good credits theme, so it gets like a 7.5 out of 10 from me. Anyway, the other ending themes, Dear Father and Vandalize. Dear Father is kinda shit, I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't fuck with it, 4 out of 10. Meanwhile, Vandalize is a certified banger performed by 1OK Rock, and they outdid themselves, 9 out of 10. Now, the very last main theme for Sonic Frontiers is the song One Way Dream. This isn't just a normal song here, this song is a direct message from Sonic Team to us. And the lyrics entail how they are ready to show everyone what they can do with Sonic and where they're going to take this franchise and how they have high ambitions and they want to make this franchise what it used to be. Amazing. Showing that Sonic Team still has that passion to make Sonic games as good as they can be. Because of that message and the fact that the song is a banger, gets a solid 10 out of 10. Anyway, let's get back to the main course of Frontiers and look at the updates they released post-launch. So around the end of 2022, we got a roadmap for 3 major content updates for Sonic Frontiers, showing shit like photo mode, boss rush, and a bunch of shit, also including a new story, and Tails, Knuckles, and Amy playable, which is mind-blowing because that hasn't been a thing in a mainline Sonic game since 2006. Anyway, update 1 is a very solid update, making some minor quality of life changes while also just making the game more enjoyable. Added a jukebox, a photo mode with some other shit to do to keep us busy for the next month. Until around June, we got update 2, which changed quite a bit about the gameplay, changing the physics to work better, along with some fun new collectibles and stuff to do, which is always just a good time. Got a bus rush and a spin dash, which is super fun. Like, damn bro, it's so good. Mainly just building upon Sonic Frontiers' base, building cool extra stuff to do before the next big update. Now for update 3, we have mainly covered the update already, so I'll just discuss the gameplay of these new characters. Starting with Amy, who I think has the best control out of the 3 characters playable here. She has her tarot cards as an attack most of the time and can spin with them, while also having this cool attack where you can hold down the homing attack and get multiple enemies at once and do a nice little animation, making for some cool puzzles for the player to do that I personally thought were really fun. She also has a triple jump that turns into a glide, which is very neat. Most people are on Twitter complaining about the tarot cards saying, "Where, we want the hammer." I don't really give a shit, because if they want to have cool magic shit with predicting the future, I'm all for it. It sounds more interesting. Magical cards or a big hammer, I'm gonna go with magic cards. But also the hammer isn't going anywhere, and it stated she couldn't use the hammer because of the cyberspace shit, and some dialogue in update 3, but also they could have put it in, but at the same time I like the tarot cards because there's something new to the character, and I think they're interesting. Sure, they could be used a bit more, but then again, maybe they're just trying to add a new trait to Amy's character. Moving on to Knuckles, who is pretty good too. He has a glide, which can be OP with an upgrade and max rings, as he can just about fly pretty much. He also has some cool attacks and stuff, making him a pretty neat character, but Knuckles and Tails are really tied for me. The reason is Tails sucks a little bit. His flying is more like a glide, and he doesn't have a fucking homing attack. Instead he throws wrenches at people. But he gets, what is it, the fucking plane he goes in? I don't even know the name of it, I've forgotten it. I didn't write it into the script. But yeah, it's fun as fuck and a little bit OP, so they are tied for me. Amy is top tier though. But also, I would like to touch on difficulty on this update, since it's a big thing on Twitter. As I'm writing this, and all I have to say is, stop crying, because you are losing at a video game. You sound like a child at preschool who got their toy stolen from another child. Games are meant to be hard, especially on the last part of the game in the last few hours of content. The perfect parry is good. Same with the difficulty of the 5th tower and the rest of the towers and the platforming. The game stops holding your hand here and stops with the automation. Isn't that what we all asked for? I mean, not everyone of course wanted that, but I can say the majority of people at launch on Twitter were asking for less automation and more difficulty. That's what you guys got. That's what we all got. And that's why I was so happy when I played this update, because it felt like I was playing an actual game again. But no, of course then, because you were losing at it and you got salty, you decided to cry about it to Mario Kishimoto on Twitter. Like, I don't get it. And also, you can just set it to easy mode and have a better parry window and easier platforming. There is no shame in turning to easy mode if you want a more relaxed experience. But don't take away the nice, hard, and rewarding experience that rewards us more experienced players. I understand hard mode isn't for everyone. It's not meant to be for everyone. It's meant to be the hardest way to play the game. That's the point. Everyone wanted less difficulty and to refight the Titans. We got that. And because everyone is being a sore loser, everyone starts crying about it on Twitter. I'm sorry, but it's quite literally a skill issue. So all the platforming is mainly 3D and has very little 2D, which is a plus. Isn't this all what we asked for? It's what I asked for. It's what I wanted from, you know, Sonic games in the future, and that's what we got. They've shown us that they know how to make good platforming, and yet everyone just starts complaining. Personally, this update was great. Anyone who says it isn't either just sucks at the game or just had it on hard and didn't realize there was an easier way to do it. That's my say at least. Anyway, enough about the updates. Let's move on to a different topic about how sort of this game has affected the entire franchise, if you will. Alright, so Sonic Frontiers has sent a message to the world that this game was innovative and tried something new, and yes, it is unpolished, but it is extremely fun and enjoyable, and received very positive responses. Well, I say that it broke the Sonic cycle where games are overhyped and don't deliver. This game did deliver relatively well at launch. Aside from the ending of the game and some minute details, this game was, you know, good. And considering it was like a last chance for Sonic games to be good, we had just come off Sonic Forces and the future wasn't bright for Sonic whatsoever. But they got the best people working on this, and they had the best team with incredible passion for this game, and the team just wanted this game to succeed and be the best thing it could have been. That's why it took 5 years to make, and then another year of updates. The story written by Ian Flynn, the best music performers, incredible ideas, and maybe not the biggest budget, but for what they made, this is incredibly impressive, and it definitely paid off. And you know why I think it paid off? Because Sonic Team got a 20% pay increase after Frontiers, and it seems Sega is hiring more staff to assist with Sonic Team, so we can expect great things for the future of Sonic. The next game is Sonic Superstars, and that might have already come out by now, I'm not too sure, but it's looking pretty promising to me. Also, one thing to note is Mario Kishimoto, the game's director, has done an amazing job of listening to fan feedback. He looks to Twitter after the game's launch to get feedback for the update. And that's a video for a whole different time, but a lot of the stuff in these updates came from fan feedback, which is really nice. I have even given feedback, and it has been implemented in the game. I asked him on Twitter what he thought about speedrunning and using glitches, and he thought it was cool. And he liked the speedrunning side of Frontiers and expanded on it, adding little things at the end of the levels to show how you played the cyberspace levels to help with speedrunning, which to me is fucking awesome. This game has forever changed the franchise for the better. The game has won multiple awards and cemented itself as one of the best Sonic games of all time. It's hard to say where the franchise will end up in the future. Everything I've talked about today could be irrelevant if they decide to rush the next game out and it sucks major balls. But for the first time in a while, I have faith this franchise will succeed and make some amazing games. I don't have to be cautiously optimistic anymore, I can just be optimistic and have faith that the games that will come out will be good, because Sonic Team cares so much more about this franchise than we ever could have dreamed for, and it seems that they aren't slowing down anytime soon, and I'm all here for it. All I can really say is, the third generation of Sonic is here, and I'm ready for it. Hey guys, if you have made it this far into the video, my deepest thanks goes to you, because man, this video is a long one. But I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover with Frontiers, and hopefully when I edit this, it doesn't look like hot garbage. Actually, speaking of editing, I have actually gotten assistance on this video and hired some editors for this project alone. So thank you to my team that I gathered for this video for helping me edit this, because oh man, it's been a process, but I thank you all so much for helping me out with this, and I wish nothing for the best of them. Their links should be in the description below. If anyone's looking for some talented editors, I would highly recommend them. But yeah, this has been what I'm working on for since November 2022, and it's October 2023, so like 11 months. Of course, when I'm recording this, so I don't know, it might even be like 2024 by the time this is out, dude. I don't even know. Can stop talking about Frontiers now, and it's laid to rest. This game was amazing, and I'm happy I got to talk about it and be there for the hype cycle and all of the content that came out. Super stoked about this game, and I can't wait to see what comes next. And I want to thank everyone for supporting this channel, as I want to keep making videos and get and I get demotivated sometimes, but seeing all of you guys supporting me on Discord and Twitter, it has been a huge help. Now I'm about to get a lot busier due to real life stuff, so uploads may slow down, but if you want to stay updated, follow me on Twitter. I am working on a rework of my Discord, since my old server is super old, and I want to make a whole new one and actually talk to people on there and shit like that. But for the meantime, Twitter is where you can go to find me, and if you have enjoyed this video and want to support me further, I have a Ko-fi you can donate to, and I'm planning to have more rewards for people who want to learn about my process for making videos and seeing videos early, and other exclusive stuff like that. And pretty much all the money donated there goes right back into this channel, or buying me McDonald's. I don't fucking know. It'll go to important stuff like making videos though, like hiring editors and, you know, being able to get the talent I want on these videos, because there are some amazing people and I want to make sure they're paid and looked after when they're making these videos. Yeah, so if you have any money to donate, check it out. If you don't have any money to donate, that's fine as well. You don't need to give me your money. That's alright. If you don't have any money to donate, just watching these videos, liking, subscribing, sharing them with anyone who you think would be interested in this type of stuff, or just talking about stuff in the comments. I've read every single comment that's ever been left on any of these videos. I'm sure if I ever get too many, I probably can't read all of them, but I'll try and read as many as I can. Of course, don't give me your rent money though. Times are tough, so only donate something if it won't mean like you go homeless or don't eat for the week. Anyway, I'm gonna head out now. Thank you all for watching this video, and I shall see you all when I upload sometime in the future, which will hopefully be soon. See ya, freaking nerds.